Poison. We love our poisons. Modern civilization is built on poison. 400 years ago, somebody said the dose makes the poison. Thus, ever since, doctors have been defining medicine, defining everything as a poison, even water, because you can drown in water. You can die from too much water. It really doesn't make sense if you look deep at this, and I've written a lot about it. And it has been a grand excuse for the use of poison. Poison was used in the old days to kill people because you couldn't easily trace back who did the dirty deed. And today that tradition goes on and on and on. Many industries, if not most of them, doctors, dentists, nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists, enjoy, or their livelihoods depend on poisoning us. The nuclear industry, one of the greatest crimes or misunderstandings is how very low dosages of heavy metals, radiation, and chemicals can compromise our health and even kill us. So everybody's getting away with poisoning us a little bit at a time, like getting little cuts all over your body, one at a time. When I was 5 years old, my uncle was my dentist, and he loaded my whole mouth up with mercury. More recently, dentists are getting away from mercury, but mercury is an incredible poison, and vapors leak from the mouth, from these fillings, amalgam, 24/7. Preservatives, really started with Heinz ketchup back 35 years ago, when they started adding preservatives to food so they could have a long shelf life. Now you go into the supermarket and foods are full of preservatives. The whole agricultural industry, Monsanto Bayer, with their pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, are poisoning the food. Hormones fed to chickens and cows. The world is full of antibiotics and hormones. It's in the water, in the drinking water. The list goes on and on. Doctors love to use nuclear radiation to diagnose disease. All the CAT scans and PET scans, radiation treatments for cancer, using radioactive iodine, polluting the world. Living in a city or almost anywhere on the planet today, air pollution. They don't even talk about the worst parts of air pollution, which is mercury. The danger from coal-fired electrical plants, is not so much the CO2. It's the mercury emissions. We put out like 20 tons a day internationally into the atmosphere, when the amount of mercury that fits on top of a pinhead will pollute a lake. Early last century, or for the first 50 years of the last century, we're polluting the world with lead. And many places still pollute the drinking water with lead pipes. Not even mentioning cell phone and Wi-Fi systems and cell towers and the new G5. We live in an age where poison of many types, of course there's thousands and thousands of chemicals, which we're being promised. Chemical production over the last 120 years went from very little to just exponentially more and more and more. We've already saturated the world with chemicals, with plastics. And now I just read in research promising to double that amount in the next, I believe, 10 years. So it's getting worse. It's getting worse. There's no getting away from it. If you want to make it worse, go to your doctor. He will prescribe a pharmaceutical. These are more chemicals. It doesn't make sense in the future or in the present to poison people more with drugs that have toxic side effects when the person's already toxic. If you really want to practice medicine or be treated by medicine, stay away from your doctors. Or go to a doctor or a naturopath or a chiropractor who practice detoxification, taking away the poisons, helping the body clear the poisons from the body. That's not easy today because there's so many. And very sick people are very toxic. So, it's good to understand that we live in a reality, in a chemical hell that we've created and let be created, that industrialists have made fortunes on. And in the end, it'll probably do the entire race in, even the wealthy people. Why? Because one of the most sensitive parts of our being, our physical body, is sperm. For men, is sperm count. Sperm counts are crashing over the last 40, 50 years with the promise of acceleration, with more chemical toxicity and radiation and heavy metals. Of course, they'd like to say they don't understand why sperm count is dropping to the point where in 100 years it could be so low that we will not be able to reproduce. Meaning the end of the human race is within sight because we're poisoning people, we're poisoning ourselves. My work is to teach about substances that help with detoxification. Sodium bicarbonate is something, or a combination of sodium bicarbonate and potassium bicarbonate, something should be taken every day. Magnesium, iodine. I start my day every morning drinking some edible clay. It ensures poisons go through the system, get out. Poison. People like poison. A lot of people like junk food, which is full of poisons. Doctors love the poison. Patients love to go to their doctors to be poisoned. Bottom line, realize our toxicities and do something about it.